Welcome to Dallas Social Cafe. I have a very fun show in store for you today, including handbags, jewelry, and artwork. First, we meet with Larissa, Linton, and Skye Brewer from Heroes for Children. Then, we'll look at bridal rings from Markham Fine Jewelers. And later, we'll talk with and watch Figurative painters from Florence in their studio. Well, today I have the absolute pleasure of speaking with Skye Brewer. She's one of two chairs that chaired the Heroes and Handbags Heroes for Children event this past spring. Skye, welcome to Dallas Social Cafe.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I have so much to talk to you about because this was an amazing event. I got to attend. I was so happy to do that this year and participate. So you and Jennifer Dix chaired this event and you raised a boatload of money, and I'm so excited because I think it was probably the most successful event ever for Heroes for Children, and I'm so thrilled for the charity. So tell me about how you changed up this event for the 10-year anniversary.
Well, traditionally it's been a luncheon, as you know, because you've chaired it and I chaired it one year as well. It is always been kind of a see and be seen, really fun, really great event for the ladies. But this year we were trying to celebrate 10 years of Heroes for Children. And we felt like we needed to do a few things. One, we needed to have it in the evening so we could have the men come and actually see what goes on with this whole handbag auction, people fighting all over handbags, but also we wanted to really have a party to celebrate Larissa and Jenny. What they did 10 years ago is extraordinary, having lost their own children and honestly able to get up out of bed in the morning, much less go on and start Heroes for Children, this organization that helps families who have children battling cancer. And we just wanted it to be a celebration of them, their cause, and what they've done in the past 10 years. This organization has raised over $5 million.
It's amazing. I think that's just absolutely amazing.
It's extraordinary. And we also kind of want to take it up a notch. We wanted to have dancing and a great dinner, and we had really tremendous entertainment with Dan Dunn, and we also wanted to take the level of the bags up a little bit. So we said this year we're going to have 100 bags. We tried to have each bag be around $1,000 in value or higher. But certainly or have a great story behind it or some sort of great reason why it was in the auction, and we achieved that as well. So people were really, really excited and I think had a great time.
Well, Heroes and Handbags has always been one of my favorite events as a luncheon, and I think as a dinner it was even more fun. And of course, I think the guys had a great time this year, and I think they enjoyed it. Some of the guys were able to get in on the action this year because you had some unique gifts or from experiences. So let's talk about the Cowboys experience. I believe you had one of those, and you had some trips. So.
We did. We had the Cowboys experience with Roger Staubach, which was super fun. And then, of course, the one that has done so well was the experience with Zach Brown, the Zach Brown Band.
That's right. How could I forget that?
Which I just saw they're going to be on Saturday Night Live next week. So, I mean, people are thrilled about that.
Perfect
just
timing.
Really, yeah, perfect timing. So, you know, there was some worry that, okay, is this an event that guys are going to want to come to? And they had a ball.
They did. I will say that because my husband thought, why do I want to go to a place where we have to see you buy handbags? And then he just really enjoyed the camaraderie with the other gentlemen, and then they did get into it. In fact, my husband went and bought me a bag.
See?
So it all worked out for the best.
That's right.
I didn't even have to ask permission. So.
That's right.
Well, Skye, I want to thank you so much for chairing this event and taking this on with Jennifer Dix, who's also another dear friend. And you all are both dear friends of mine, and
Absolutely.
do so much for the Dallas community, especially with regards to cancer, and this one benefiting children's cancer victims and their families. So thank you for a successful evening and a fun evening. We all had a blast, and I'm so glad that it was one of the evenings I think that you'll probably remember for the rest of your life as having something that really meant a lot to you, and that you were able to make a difference because it's been 10 years and Heroes for Children is still going strong.
Oh, it's tremendous. Well, thanks for having me. This is great.
Well, today I'm speaking with Larissa Linton. She's the Executive Director of Heroes for Children and also the co-founder. Larissa, welcome to Dallas Social Cafe. I'm so glad to speak with you. You are also a longtime friend of mine.
Yes.
You actually got me involved with Heroes for Children several years ago when I was one of the honorary chairs with my mom, D'Andra Simmons, and it was such a wonderful experience. And thank you so much for what you do for the community and for these children. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about Heroes for Children and the Heroes and Handbags event.
So Heroes for Children, this was our 10-year anniversary this year, and so we decided to throw a big party. Typically our Heroes and Handbags event is luncheon, primarily women. This year we shook it up a bit and had a evening gala invited the men to come, and so it was crazy. But the guys loved it, had a great time. The band was fun. It was just a great evening and raised a record amount of money for our organization.
How do those proceeds go to Heroes for Children as far as how do they benefit your programs and the people that you serve?
So our mission is to provide financial and social assistance to families who have a child battling cancer. And we started off helping families right here in Dallas, which is where my daughter Taylor and my co-founder Jenny's daughter Allie were treated. And as the assistance, or as the donations continued to come in, we were able to help more families and expand our assistance across Texas. And so we have a working relationship with the social workers at all the hospitals that treat children with pediatric cancer. They log into our website, fill out the application on behalf of the family. So the family really doesn't have to do any paperwork whatsoever. We receive the application, cut a check within a week's time, and it provides assistance from paying rent, mortgage, utility bills, transportation costs, and sadly even funerals a lot of times.
To wrap this up, I want to talk a little bit about if some people are watching and they want to get involved with Heroes for Children, which we hope they do want to, because it is such a wonderful charity. So let's talk about how people can find you and some different things that are coming up that they can participate in.
Okay. We have a women's auxiliary, which is great for women, a great way for women to get involved. It's called HFC Friends, and they really help with all of the social assistance side of the organization. So on top of the financial assistance we provide, we do a Valentine's dinner for the families where their mom and dad are treated to a candlelight dinner for two while their children are being cared for by professional nannies next door. We do milestone celebrations. So a lot of these kids, for instance, they might not be well enough to go to their prom, their high school graduation, or their parents might not even have the means to put on a birthday party celebration. And so the social workers come to us and ask us to help. And so these ladies really help with a lot of that side of the event. On top of that, the other events I mentioned, we're always looking for committee members. There's a million ways for people to step in and get involved. Our website is heroesforchildren.org, and we would just love to have new people get involved, and that's what it takes to really continue to grow. And we want to be here to support families for the next 10 years, and hopefully a cure for childhood cancer will be found.
Thank you so much, Larissa.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here.
Please tell Jenny thank you too, because she has such a special heart. I've loved getting to know her as well. Both of you all have special hearts and families that really are in it for the right reason, because you care about these kids and you care about these families. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it means a lot to me what you do for Dallas.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And we thank you for joining us. We will be right back on Dallas Social Cafe. Well, you're probably wondering why we're in such a lovely setting today. I have the pleasure of being at Markham Jewelers, and I'm talking with Erin, Markham Jewelers.
How are you?
Thank you so much, Erin, for spending this afternoon with me.
My pleasure.
And of course, there's nothing more exciting than a woman could do but look at jewelry.
I know. It's a good place to work, isn't it?
So today we're going to be talking about some of the really exciting engagement rings and bridal sets for 2015.
Correct.
So let's talk about what we have here and share with me what's trendy and up and coming and really hot in the industry right now.
Okay. This piece right here is actually from a line called Caro 74. It gets its name from actually the diamonds all have extra faceting in them, which gives it even more brilliance than any diamond you're going to see anywhere else. This one has the beautiful halo around it, which is really popular, and just some nice diamonds along the side, which gives it a very classic look.
So this is going to really pop when a woman wears it. And it's probably also, because the way you described it, is going to look bigger than it is, which in Texas we always like our diamonds very big.
Bigger in Texas.
Well, that is gorgeous. Now, so in there, is that a round stone?
Yes, this is a round stone, which already has the most brilliance out of any stone. So those extra facetings just really, really give it a nice brilliance that's going to catch a lot of attention.
Oh, I love that. And it's Caro, C-A-R-O?
C-A-R-O.
Okay. And let's go. My favorite happens to be the pear shape, so I'm glad you brought one out for us to look at today. So let's talk about this ring then.
This is actually a Markham piece. This is a beautiful pear shape that has a very small halo on it. So the focal point is still that pear. This also has a silhouette split shank, which allows you to wear the ring by itself or with a band.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, you can wear that pear shape with the point up or down. It's a personal preference. The pear shape is more of an antique look, but it's actually coming back really big. The unique shapes are really, really popular right now.
Okay, well, one last piece we have to discuss because I have been adorned from head to toe in jewelry today. So let's talk about this tourmaline.
Yes, this is a Paraiba tourmaline. It's really known, this specific piece, for the brilliant color that it has. A very beautiful blue, really catches people's eye. This is a JB star ring, so you'll see the blue that is accented by the white diamond and the halo. It also accents these smaller stones on the side.
And it's unusual, so I've never seen one anywhere, and so you can find that at Markham Jewelers.
Yes, at Markham
We'll let
Fine
people
Jewelers.
know that if they like the Paraiba tourmaline, that you can find it here at Markham Jewelers. And this is the only place I've ever seen one. So if you want it, you better come here and get it because, like I said, it's very unique and one of a kind. Thank you so much, Erin, for sharing your time with me today. I've really enjoyed sharing the 2015 engagement and bridal sets with you and know what's coming up and the trends. And Markham Jewelers is always ahead of the time. And speaking of this, for instance, this tourmaline, everything that you do here is classy, quality, the best choices, the best styles. You can get everything you want, and it's a one-stop shop for everything. But the quality that you have here and the merchandise, I mean, it is just, I'm telling you, Dallas women, this is where you need to be, is Markham Jewelers. So thank you very much. I'm sure you're going to have lots of people coming in here and looking at all these goodies because this is like a big candy store for us women. So thank you, Erin.
My pleasure.
After the break, we'll meet with Julia and her husband, Eridana, two of Dallas's most talented figurative painters. Well, today I'm here at the Goodyear Loft with artist Julia Shernstrom. Julia, welcome to Dallas Social Cafe. I'm so excited to be able to talk to you about your beautiful art. And tell me a little bit about what it means to be a figurative artist.
Well, figurative painter is basically that you love to paint the human form, have a passion for it, and like for me, for instance, I love to paint, like describe the anatomy and the complexity of the human form, and to put that into complex compositions where people, like humans, interact together, and where they almost like create patterns and they flow into the background and they kind of like transcend into colors. And
I also read that you're from Sweden originally, and then you studied in Florence, Italy. Tell me about your time as a student and coming from Sweden and going to Italy and then coming to the United States.
Oh, yes. Well, I was in my 20s when I decided to follow my passion, my dream in art and to become a professional painter. And I just did, like, I went to different art schools in Sweden, and I just felt like not satisfied with like all the knowledge. I felt like I wanted to achieve everything I wanted to achieve. So it just took me to Florence, Italy, and that was a great school called the Florence Academy of Art. And there you just met other artists from all over the world. It was wonderful there.
And while you were there, you met your husband.
Yes.
And he was from the United States, from California. So tell me about your arriving here and coming to Dallas and choosing Dallas as a destination to be an artist.
Yes, it was friends of my husband from California that they had moved here a few years earlier, and like after Italy, we were really 365 degrees. We couldn't go anywhere in the world. We were talking about Brazil, Barcelona, Sweden. Now it's too cold.
And then Texas.
So so no, it was my husband who took me here, and when I arrived, people were so warm and welcoming, and it was something I'd never experienced in my life before. Like, people later said, this is your new home, and they made sure
Texas hospitality.
that I was going to feel like this is your home. So so I just loved it, and we stayed.
So Julie, we've been talking about your work, and this is one of your works in progress. So tell me a little bit about this piece.
Yes, so this is my first figurative composition, and I started it when I was 31, and I wanted to just like be creative and just throw myself out there and do something completely like, challenging and different. I did a few different sketches and I decided to do Cupid and Psyche. And this is the story of when Psyche discovers that her lover is Cupid and he has to escape. So he flies up in the air and she grabs him by the foot and he pulls her up and they're actually flying in the air. And so I thought it was a bit fun, the actual happening of the thing.
I always love to hear from the artists, to talk to them about what their views are and what they're trying to portray in each piece that they do. So thank you for sharing this with us. And I just want to thank you for taking the time today to talk with me. I'm very excited that you're in Dallas and to see your work. It's beautiful. And I just think that I hope more and more people will come to know you through this show and through other things you're doing. And thank you for being involved with the Communities Foundation as well. That's a real blessing for us. So.
Well, thank you.
We'll be right back on Dallas Social Cafe.
We'll be right back to speak with Eridana.
Well, today, as part of our artist series, I'm speaking with portrait artist Eridana. Eridana, welcome to Dallas Social Cafe.
Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about you. I know from reading about you that you're from California originally.
Yes.
But you kind of came into being an artist in your teenage years. So tell me a little bit about what, up until that point, you were doing and how you decided to become an artist.
Well, I kind of go back. I used to be in martial art for till I was 15, and I used to draw just like every other kid. All my classmates and people in school, they all thought I had some sort of a drawing ability, but it wasn't anything that I thought, okay, I want to be an artist. So not until I was 15 when I actually decided to let go of everything and just dedicate myself to the art world.
So then from there, you went to study. Where did you go to study?
Florence Academy of Arts in Florence, Italy. And I won a couple of scholarships that helped me pay for the tuition in that school. And yeah.
Why would you go there? I don't know that much about art school, so tell me what's different in Florence and why would you choose that school?
Well, I think there've been several schools that I was actually, that I got a scholarship to, and one was in South California, and one was in Venice, and one was in Florence. So I was like, okay, well, I had to, I guess, choose which one was closer to being a classical artist, because there's a great art education out there, but I think when it comes down to classical training, it kind of narrows down to a fewer schools. So I chose the one that I thought would be the best for classical artists.
As a portrait artist, are you mostly commissioned for work, or do you own things? How does it work? What kind of works do you do?
Well, I used to. I've been actually doing portrait commissions since I was 15, but then after Florence, I've started doing my own work. It was still related portrait figurative, but it wasn't so much as composition as much as it was about telling stories about people, about the surrounding, all within the portrait, not outside.
I also see that you've painted some very famous people.
Yes.
So let's talk about that, and one recently that you were just telling me about.
Yeah, actually it was, I was fortunate enough to paint from live Barry Corbin. And so what I did was I met him. He's a very sweet guy. So he sat and posed for me, and I did a very rough sketch. So I took it back home, kind of completed just a little bit, and then I went back and painted the rest from live.
Thank you again for talking to me today, and I really appreciate it, and I appreciate the time, and love being in your studio down here near Fair Park. It's a beautiful space, and we've really had a nice time talking to you.
Thank you.
So thank you for being with us today, again on Dallas Social Cafe.
We hope you enjoyed the show today. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and we'll be back next week.